Hi everyone! So before we start the video, I wanted to tell you about something I've just started for you and myself. So before I was a mom and a farmer, I was a professional photographer. Nature photography was my hobby, and I've wanted to get back into that. So recently I've been taking some more photos and, kind of looking at some of my old photos and reminiscing. And I decided that every video I will take a new picture and share it with you. And then I have opened up a store on Etsy where you can order some merch through that. So in the link below in the description box, you'll be able to go down and look at some of that and order some stuff, which will help me out. I'll be able to buy seeds and continue making videos, upgrade equipment. Yeah, so please enjoy. Here's the first picture, and then have fun watching the video. Bye! Good morning. Welcome back to Prairie Heirloom Farm. Today I want to do a garden tour for you. This is summer 2021, beginning of August now. This is gardening zone 5A. So this is our first season growing here, and there was a lot to learn, but compared to our Western Washington farm, the soil structure here is amazing. It is pretty happy soil. It's still some clay, but as you can tell, this has been a pretty productive farm for us, and I want to show it to you. So let's go see the garden. This is the front of the garden. This is the kid area. That's how I get gardening done. I've got their toys, their boxes they're making forts out of, and toys and whatnot. So right up here, well, one of the carrots went to seed. I have beets and carrots. These are all obviously overdue for picking. I have lots of them though. This whole edge, this was the first thing that I planted. And they're not doing fantastic, and there's a bunch of weeds in between. And we picked some, but these are all potatoes. This end is red potatoes, and they look pretty fantastic. They're a good size and they're really delicious. This is our strawberry patch. I brought a whole bunch of strawberries from Western Washington here. I had them in pots there anyways, so I thought I'd bring them with me, and they've done pretty darn well. I was telling the boys, oh, don't pick them earlier this spring, wait till they're completely red and they'll be delicious. And the next day we came out and the birds had ate all of them. So next year we're gonna have to do some sort of, I don't know, figure out a cover of some sort for these guys. But yeah, we didn't get to taste them this year. Well, this wild mess, it's kind of a theme throughout this garden. I didn't realize how well things were going to grow here because I was used to a soil that wasn't so happy yet. And I overplanted all of my cole crops and whatnot. So it's a wild disaster in here. Definitely got some broccoli coming. I think this is the Calabrese. I don't know how to say that properly. It's probably wrong, but whatever. Variety. Kale. It's cauliflower that hasn't made heads yet. I think this is the purple cauliflower that I bought, and it just started heading up. And every day it gets a little bit bigger, so I'm excited to watch this. Whoa, the guineas got excited. More kale here. Lacinato kale, blue curled Scotch kale. Lots of broccoli, and we've harvested lots of broccoli already. Yeah, so part of that overcrowding here. It's trying. It's not very big yet, but I have a thing of red cabbage here. And right behind it, I have some Brussels sprouts working on growing. Oh, they're not really. I think this one has the most obvious heads on it. Really, I have some weeds in there too. They're working on it. They're trying. Like I said, it's overplanted, so we'll see. Back behind all this craziness, I planted peas, and I just kind of let them go. I haven't pulled them out yet, but it's definitely too hot and too late for them. They just weren't great altogether this year, so oh well. Plant earlier next year. That's definitely something I wanted to tell you about. The timing of our move this year, we moved the beginning of March. So typically for the tomatoes and the peppers, I would have started them from seed at the beginning of February. We moved the beginning of March. So a lot of my garden is planted late. There was no garden here. This was a hay field. I had to till. I don't want to have a tilled garden, but I had to create the garden. So I had to till to get rid of the hay grasses, and I decided to use this fabric, and I found it through the conservation district here. It was 500 feet for $150, 100, I can't remember. Looking online at prices online, it was definitely much cheaper than online, so this was a good deal through the conservation district, and I will definitely be calling them for a bunch of other things as well. They're very helpful here. But anyways, that's kind of the theme of the garden this year, is late growing, being productive, but late. So this area is where I had all my lettuces this spring, which were extremely productive, and we ate a lot of salads out of here. I had started some dill in pots, and I did not transfer it soon enough and it died, so my dill is a little bit late, but I do have some dill coming, so that's nice. And these onions, I can't remember which variety exactly, and I don't see the tag for them. They're red onion, and I have two different varieties of red onion. They're still growing strong. There's some celery, that kind of, I let it go. What? Look at this. Look at this. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look up what kind of caterpillar that is. I don't think it's a monarch. Monarchs have more white, right? Oops, come on, focus. Oh, maybe you guys can help me find out what type of caterpillar this is for what butterfly. Oh, there's more in here. Hopefully they're good ones. Oh, I have some research to do. I'm excited about that. Hopefully it's not bad ones. I wonder if there's more in here. Oh well. Anyways, so this is celery I kind of let go, and I plan to use it for celery salt. So you dry it and you flake it and add salt to it, and you have your own homemade celery salt. This is chard. I've eaten a lot and I'm kind of over it. I've frozen some, and there's still more. It just keeps coming. I didn't plant very many plants, and they, again, highly productive and delicious. I'm just over it at the moment. This is a fun project. So I bought some ginger from Fruition Seeds for planting, and again, it's super late. I bought it super late. I started it super late. So typically in the tray, I would start it, oh gosh, probably March, or maybe even February as well. I have to look that up, but I don't think I started this until May this year. And it's doing okay. I don't know that I'll get super big heads, but I don't even know the terms for ginger, but I'm super excited. It has come up. It is growing, so we'll have to see what it does. I started it in the tray, and these ones definitely didn't make it, and I have yet to clean them up. But yeah, I'll have to have an update for that later. These are all my bush beans. Can't say they're doing fantastic, and I can't say that I've tried very hard to figure out why. I think, you know, some of it is inconsistent watering, but I think they have some disease going on. I've had really heavy pest pressure, and I did see some in here. So I had cucumber beetles like crazy, squash bugs like crazy, grasshoppers, crickets, locusts, potato bugs, you name it, I've had it, and I've had it bad. I did have to spray, and that made me really sad. I don't like to spray, but I would have literally lost so many plants. I did lose one zucchini plant, but you know, are we really sad about losing a zucchini plant? And yeah, I did plant extra zucchini and yellow squash this year for the pigs, and they've had lots, and we've had lots, and I've frozen some, I've given some away, we've eaten plenty. Yeah, so we've worked through the pest pressure. I'm hoping in the future that maybe the system levels out a bit. But yeah, as you can see, these bean plants are not very happy. Lots of damage there. Some mildew going on as well. This zucchini plant, I don't know what happened. I planted the seeds directly, and for some reason, this one came up like a month after all of the others, and it kind of escaped a lot of the pest pressure. So it is now being pretty productive. It's still a pretty small plant. Huh? That's cool. You know, I've eaten a lot of veggies in my life, and I just don't think I've ever actually ate eggplant. But the last couple of years I tried to grow eggplant in Western Washington, and that did nothing. So they would grow, but they would never get to the point where they could produce. I just don't think it was warm enough. So this year, this one, well, this is 3 plants I grew, and they have a green eggplant, and I also have another variety down the way that is purple, but I tried them and they're delicious. So that's exciting. Now I want to figure out if I can preserve them somehow, maybe freeze, or I don't know. Try it out. They're definitely delicious. This is the other variety of eggplant that I planted, and I'll have to go look at names for you, but these 3 had extremely heavy pest pressure, mostly potato bugs, like really bad. So I had to spray them for quite a while, but through that, they have been very productive. And again, quite delicious. This is just one ground cherry plant. There was a second one over here, and this one took over. That's a sucker from a tomato that I planted just to see if it would grow when it's growing. But anyways, this should have some ripe ground cherries pretty soon. I'm excited about that. So this is my trellis area. For the tomatoes, I tried out the Florida weave, and I can't say I love it. I don't know. I'm going to do something different next year. The Florida weave didn't work out here. So June this year was extremely dry and extremely hot and windy. And my tomatoes, basically all of them, the leaves were curled up. In fact, this one still is. I can show you. So typically when leaves are curled upwards, it means that something environmental is making them unhappy. And it has been extremely, oh, that one too. It has been extremely, oh, it's the same variety, that's why. Those are both speckled Romans. The last few days have been extremely hot. 95, 98 degrees. Most of them have recovered. Like this one, couple, the leaves are curled, but the rest are happy. Yeah, most of them have recovered from whatever was frustrating them. And unfortunately now they're out of control. And I have not pruned. So yeah, I have a lot of tomatoes coming. They're just kind of out of control and wild and crazy. This is a Martino's Roma. As you can see, I have some blossom end rot going on. So I actually have a liquid magnesium, calcium that I put on them, and I seem to have gotten away from the blossom end rot. And it was happening on a lot of the varieties, not just the Roma. So these were some of the first ones that still had it, but now they seem to be doing much better, not having blossom end rot. Yeah, these speckled Romans, they've got the leaves curled up. They're still pretty upset, so yeah. These are a Gardener's Sweetheart tomato. I grew them last year and definitely they're my favorite. They're a little cherry tomato and I love them. They're just super delicious. This is also one of my favorites, the Paul Roberson. And this plant is very unhappy. You know what? I really honestly think it has to do with the trellising. So the Florida weave, try something different next year. I think I might actually have enough cattle panels to do it. I'm just worried that this is going to become a big sale. We do have a lot of wind, so I'm just worried that a sale may happen. I forget what these are called. Oh, these are the Indigo Rose. They're really, I really like putting them in salsa. Getting excited about this one. This is a German pink. Still growing, but it's pretty large. I'm excited to try it. What is this? This is a Brandywine Black. Yeah, I think that's about ready. I'm excited to try that one too. These are my son's favorite. Little yellow pear. Delicious, little sweet tomatoes. All right, this crazy mess here is a red currant tomato. And there are lots in here. Let's see if I can grab one for you. They're delicious. They're like a little teaspoon tomato. And they pop and they're sweet in your mouth. I really like to get a whole bunch of them, make like a cucumber salad, and mix them in with the cucumber salad just whole, because they are so tiny, and they just pop in your mouth. They're so delicious. But they're kind of a mess, and they're kind of difficult to pick. Again, I think the trellising, gosh, I'm really bashing the trellising here, but the Florida weave is just not working for me. The hillbilly tomatoes, they're being super productive. This one's coming along. This one, I think this one needs to come off. A little cat-faced, but she'll make a nice slicer. Go make a sandwich. This is a fun variety. I actually saved seeds. My mom's friend last year grew these. They're sun golds. I was like, I have no idea if these are, cross-pollinated, whatever, but heck, I'm gonna try it. And they're pretty darn good. So apparently they weren't cross-pollinated, and I think this was the only variety that she grew. So I still have a bunch of seed for that, so that'll be awesome for next year. Tomatillos. I really know nothing about growing them or using them, but I'm going to. I don't know why they died or if they're supposed to do that. I don't know. I already have collected a bunch. I need to make some sauce, I think. And yeah, if you know like why the tomatillos did this, they were like all the way up here at this top and they just kind of died back. Maybe that's what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Peppers. I love peppers. So I grew 3 of each variety, and this label seems to have gotten misplaced, but I'm pretty sure this is my hot jalapeno. And it's being fairly productive, but the jalapenos are kind of small. And I'm excited to try them anyways. I really, really love pickled jalapenos. Let's see, I don't know. Where's the label for this? These labels are... Oh, well those ones are the Sugar Rush Peach. That is not a Sugar Rush Peach though. What is this? This is, a Hot Joe Parker. Coming along. So I think next year, I have labels down here in the hole, and it is hard to see them, and I want to know what I've got because I don't necessarily know what each variety is just by looking at it. So I think next year I'm going to take a piece of what's it called? Well, a piece of tape and write it on it out here. I have awesome markers. It's a permanent marker, but it's the Sharpie brand, and they're industrial ink. I was super excited about growing these cayenne peppers. I want to make my own cayenne powder. And unfortunately, 2 of the 3, this is just one plant. It's actually a fairly big plant. So I might still be able to make some cayenne powder, but not as much as I was hoping. 2 of the 3 were fairly large and then just broke off right at the base. And I don't know why. I definitely need to do some research on that's our friend. I need to do some research on why they broke off some, pepper diseases. I need to learn about that. More peppers. What were these ones? Oh, these were the serranos, and apparently I need to pick them. Oh, see, these had blossom and drought too, and I gave these some vitamins as well. They're already starting to turn red. There's another pretty back there. But there are lots of serranos on here. That's exciting. I have, tomatoes for salsa now, and peppers, and onions. Onions were another semi-fail. I started them way late. Way extremely late. Because of moving and whatnot. They're just starting to lay over now, which means they're ready. And they're still pretty small. Like this one's very ready. Look how small it is. But I still have onions. And these are green onions that I forgot to harvest. but I can still chop them up and use them. I'm good with that. I can't remember if this is a Anaheim or a poblano pepper, but that is definitely my biggest pepper plant. It hits me right above my waist, so it's pretty darn tall. It's exciting. This hasn't made peppers yet. Oh, those are the Tabasco peppers. These are peppercini peppers. So I'm excited to do some pickling of the peppercini peppers. And these I'm using today. These are Hungarian wax peppers. Hi, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to use them in sweet spicy pickles today. The cucumbers I grew. Have all these peppers. These are also very large plants. They are sweet Marconi reds. And a lot of them are green, and there's a ton of them. I'm super excited. And they're pretty darn large. Those are coming along. They have a little bit of spice to them, but not a lot. Like very tiny, just like a little bit of a flavor spice. And these are King of the North sweet peppers. I think they just need more time. I think maybe June had something to do with pollination on these guys. Too hot, maybe? Too hot, too dry. So I have some, and a lot of them are tiny still. Hopefully we have enough time left in our season. Beginning of September is our first frost, and it's already the beginning of August. So maybe I'll just have green peppers this year and not any reds. The trellises did very well this year. These are a red noodle bean. I need your help, guys. They just started making beans, and they're pretty small and skinny still. I tried one the other day, and it was kind of gross, honestly. I wasn't impressed. So do you wait until they're fully grown before you pick them and eat them? Is that how it's supposed to work? I don't know. They're pretty. They haven't reached the top yet. They're trying. Cucumbers got away from me this year. I did train some up the trellis, and some of them did it on their own. But mostly I've ground cucumbers. And I way overplanted because I'm not used to them being so well productive. This is a bunch of different varieties all along it, including some cucamelons in there. And the cucamelons, I think they're so hidden in there that they've had really, ow, kitty's trying to get me here. It's like, save me, Mom. The cucamelons, I think they're so hidden in there that they've had bad pollination. But up towards the top, I'm seeing little tiny ones now. This has been an extremely productive cucumber, and they're delicious. Plus, the ribbing, when you cut them, it makes like a little flower looking cut, and they're really pretty and delicious and crisp and huge. This one's tiny, but some of them have been like 1.5 feet long, literally. Those are fun to grow. And this variety of cucumber is called the Expedition from Osborne Quality Seeds. And I absolutely love them for pickling. They're a little bit bigger, so they're not a gherkin, but they make, they make just fantastic pickles. I grew them last year and I grew them this year. They're extremely productive. Like, I'm on my second round of pickles, and I think I'm going to have 3 and 4 rounds. This trellis is fun. It was too cool in Western Washington to grow these, so in South Dakota here, I planted loofahs, and I way overplanted again because I didn't realize how well they would do. And I have loofahs coming.
Did you tell them about the sunflowers?
Yeah, we have sunflowers.
And
Hold on, buddy. I'm telling them about the loofahs. Okay. This one is quite large already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Large. Hey, that's actually a double.
It kind of looks like a double. It's really wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. There's another one over here. This side isn't doing as well. Don't know why. So it's a loofah gourd. These are my gourd trellises. Switch the camera around here, show you. These gourds are just insane, and I'm super excited about that. This is like a daisy variety, and I think that was an autumn mix variety. You can't even see the trellis on that one anymore. They just went absolutely nutty. Good to know. Again, I overplanted. Oh darn. We got this really cool screen. It's pretty cool. This is a swan gourd, and I think that they took forever to germinate, and I don't think that I will get anything off of them this year. I think they'll be too late. I'm actually having to cut back. So this is the gourds from that trellis, and I let them grow up this side because I can't remember what I planted here, but they didn't grow. So I let them grow up this side. Yeah, this is literally taking over, and I'm actually pruning and cutting them back. So they're trying to take over my peppers as well. So awesome. I can't even see any of the gourds in there. Like, I've gotten like a glimpse of some of them, but I can't walk in there because I'll just destroy it. Insane madness. This is the other side of that insane gourd trellis. They're going off into the pumpkin field as well. They're all the way over here. This is all from that one trellis. Let's see if we can. You really can't see. Oh, here we go. And kind of step in here. You can see one of the gourds. Oh, there's another one. Like I'm moving things out of the way to see. Oh, there's another one up there. I don't even have a clue what I'm gonna do with whatever insanity comes off of this. I love it. Another super exciting area for us. In Western Washington, it was too cool to grow melons, and here we have fantastic conditions for it. So I grew a bunch. I had some, what's called a honey rock variety, a honey gold variety. There were, over there, a blacktail melon? It's a smaller watermelon. I'm excited about that. I had some midget musk melons. And I got a variety of watermelon that is orange in there somewhere. And then there's a regular crimson watermelon on the end. I'll have to go around the other side because on the other side I can actually show you some of the watermelons, but I can't really walk through here. Look at this awesomeness. Super exciting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut back some of the melons as well, or maybe just move them, move the vines a bit, but they're trying to take over my single cayenne plant, and I don't want to do that. So this is a small one. There's three in here. They're getting pretty big. So you can see, I think that watermelon leaves are just the coolest shape ever. They're really awesome. What'd you find?
A ginormous watermelon.
Oh yeah, that one's pretty big. But they're still growing.
And I took a picture of the bee.
That's a pretty awesome picture, Walter.
Mm-hmm.
These are the small watermelons. And this one, I think, is our closest melon to be ready. I gotta see if I can straddle this and get in here so I can show you. What I've heard is that when this tail right here completely turns brown, so we got a little bit of ways to go, brown and dries up, the melon should be ready. But also, the melon should just basically fall off the stem when it's actually ready and ripe. So we got some time, but we're getting there. We'll have to do an opening video, cutting it and tasting it. I'm so excited to grow these melons. And this is the pumpkin patch and winter squash patch. Unfortunately, these dang weeds, I battled them and battled them. I have pulled and pulled. They're just taking over. So I can't really do much walking through here without accidentally walking on plants. But I will show you some. These, I believe, are spaghetti squash. And, oh, that one's not quite ready. But they're getting there. That came from a squash variety, winter squash variety pack. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna get. I'm just kind of disgusted with these weeds. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. I think since I want to do no-till, I need to do some research on a cover crop I can plant really early in the spring and then be able to plant the pumpkins into it. I've got some research to do on that.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah, I think that is a bad caterpillar.
Yes, you told me it eats your tomatoes. Which I'll go put it out there.
Why don't you give it to the chickens? They'll probably love it.
Oh, I guess I really love it. All those. Where are those?
Were you digging potatoes?
No, those were just out of the ground. I saw it.
Oh, I wonder if Dad accidentally dropped them last night. Here's the other side of the pumpkin patch. Now some of this is a purposeful cover crop. And I think it may have been a bad idea. I think it's too big, too much. Obviously this is weeds. I think I saw in here yesterday, very large pumpkin. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. I think this is one of my warty goblins and I am super excited. There's another one across the way too. Love to see how this grows. Well, I decided not to grow a giant pumpkin this year. I'll do it next year. This is an Atlantic giant that it's just Atlantic giant. Not anything special for giants, but this year too much was starting the garden and just moving in and whatnot. But at least I've got those coming. I was trying to see if I could actually see some of the ones that died still, but I think the rest of the happy pumpkins took over. I did have, oh, there's a big orange. I think that's one of the growers giants. Oh, it's hard to see. Anyways, that was exciting to see that. I was going to tell you that I've had such extreme pressure from the cucumber beetles in particular. I don't know that the squash beetles actually came out here. They were mostly just on my zucchini. But the cucumber beetles, just absolutely insane. And they literally killed at least 3 plants. And I did get some bacterial wilt going on. And yeah, I don't seem to have too much powdery mildew yet. I'm going to say yet. We did grow some sweet corn this year. There's 6 rows 3 varieties, so 2 rows of each variety. And I'll have to look up what they are for you. It was from Johnny's Seeds. This isn't an area I can irrigate, so they're not doing fantastic, and the other end is actually kind of dying. But we are definitely getting corn, and it is pretty delicious. See if I can open this one up for you. I don't know if I can do it one-handed. Nah, I'll get one off and open it up. So this was a multicolor variety, and it is sweet and delicious. I honestly can't say that any of the 3 varieties taste any less delicious to me. I don't know, they're all pretty great in my opinion. So I'll look up those varieties for you as well, and I'll list them below. They're delicious. We did a white variety and a just regular yellow as well. I did notice on this variety in particular, it seems to be pretty prone to smut. It's a fungus. And a lot of it, oh, see there's some down there as well. But only on this variety. The other 2 varieties didn't have it, so I probably won't grow that again next year. So this is our front porch. I love having a nice sitting porch in the front of the house. It is pretty awesome. But I created this herb garden up here, so I want to tell you about it. The basil is definitely taken over, but there's all sorts of goodies in here. We have a rosemary started under there, which I started from seed. This is a regular sweet basil. This is a Thai basil. Is there something in here? I forget. Nope. This is a cute little piccolini basil. Some oregano. I have a bunch of lemongrass. Lavender, parsley, basil, thyme, sage back there. I think I'm actually going to take the sweet basil and cut it back so that some of the other perennials, like the sage and the thyme and whatnot, can have some space to grow. Lavender, just some alyssum, chive, some more sage, lemongrass. This is a purple rosy basil. I think that's what it's called. Holy basil. More parsley under there. This was a lemon basil, and it was really, really, really delicious, and I will definitely grow that again next year. Chamomile. Good intentions of harvesting, and I didn't, so I think I need to deadhead it. I need to look up what I need to do for it. Some borage. Cilantro. This cilantro went to seed, so I think I'm going to take all these little seeds and save them for coriander, my own coriander. I do have more cilantro coming. It's not super happy. Oh, I should tell you about this side of the bed. So this side of the bed gets shaded by about 1 o'clock. So I put like the cilantro, and also I grew my spinach over here. This is a toucan spinach. The grasshoppers have been absolutely insane in here. In fact, I don't know why we're not seeing any right now, but yeah, they ate this whole thing up. They didn't eat the basil. A lot of the herbs they don't like, but the cilantro, especially the spinach, they love. This is a marshmallow, excuse me. I'm growing it for the roots for medicinal purposes, and there's also Thai basil in there. Just one hosta. So these are kind of, I've left these spinach as kind of like a, oh, you can go eat these now, grasshoppers. Yeah. I'm trying to grow some more spinach. It's really slow starting, and I don't know why it's being so slow. I definitely need to water this morning, but that usually has plenty of water here. There's sweet basil, borage, marshmallow, and this is an Italian dandelion that I'm growing for eventual medicinal purposes, but you can also eat the leaves, like a lettuce. I do have some containers up here. It's not doing well, and I think it has to do with the soil that I bought. I think it was cheap soil. Yeah, not a great idea. Don't buy cheap soil. I have some spearmint and just some regular mint in pots as well, because it's smart to keep them in pots. Otherwise they spread like absolutely crazy. Now this is the start of a perennial garden that I will be making right along the driveway. We have some big rocks that I want to put right along the driveway, and then we'll use that as a perennial garden. So I restarted seeds for the fall garden, and as you can see, oh, these grasshoppers are just insane. They're eating everything. So what they didn't eat the onion, and they didn't eat, well, they did kind of eat the dill. So I restarted. This is all my lettuce. It's gone. It's totally gone. They were up and they were happy, and the grasshoppers were like, oh, delicious, great. So yeah, I only have cilantro, dill, onions left, and what's left of some of these brassicas. So yeah, awesome. And these are a decorative kale. I started them way too late, but they're still growing, but they're definitely getting eaten by the grasshoppers as well. This is an old stock tank ring that was here. We decided to put it in the front yard and fill it with dirt and use it as a planter. I decided this was a good area to grow my asparagus. So this is young asparagus. You don't want to eat it like the first year. It's woody and hard, and fairly tiny as well. So I should be topping it now. Actually, I probably should have already topped it so that it can focus on root growth. Honestly, this bed is kind of out of control. I've kind of let it go. This is my calendula. I do have a bunch of seeds I need to start harvesting. I don't know what's happening to my artichoke. They were still a little bit young, so I just let them flower this year because, again, young artichoke, they're woody and not so fantastic for eating. But I don't know. I don't think this is normal die-off. Maybe it's the ants that are doing this. I don't know, but they're not going well. I have another one that I started from seed this year. I don't know that these will be perennial here. It's kind of an experiment, so we'll see. Melissa, more calendula that's gone to seed. I did find a salvia on sale. It was like $1. It's tiny, but it should come back next year. And I forget what this one was called, but again, it was like $1 and it should come back next year. And I replanted some sunflowers, so hopefully the sunflowers come to maturity. I'm not completely sure that we have enough time in the season, but they should come to maturity. And then I put my rhubarb here that I brought from Washington. It was one of my mom's plants, so she gave it to me a couple years ago. I decided to bring it, and it's been pretty happy, but this is definitely the end of the season for it. And I have some eucalyptus growing and some St. John's wort. Again, the eucalyptus and the St. John's wort, they were from Washington, and I'm not completely sure that they'll be perennial here, but why not try it? Don't see a reason not to try. You guys, I'm so excited! this garden tour, I've seen all sorts of crazy stuff. I had no idea we had praying mantis here. Look at this. How cool is that? Can you see? Right here. Oh, it's hard to focus. Oh, it's having a hard time focusing on him. He's not the biggest praying mantis, but he's definitely a praying mantis. How have I not seen this before? This is my lily bush in my flower bed here. There we go. Now you can see him better. Oh my gosh. I should take you to my garden. How exciting. I wonder if he has a mate in here or she. I don't know. How do you tell them apart? There's that jerk. Dang grasshoppers. Okay, I've decided to relocate this praying mantis to my garden. I found one of my kids' buckets. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to put the camera down to be able to get it in here without hurting it. Yeah. Broke the leaf off to get it in here. It's not super happy about it. We're gonna go put it in the garden. Oh, stay in, or at least on. Come on, buddy. I need you to eat some of these nasty bugs in my garden. Okay, I let it off. My cucumbers. Eat those nasty bugs. Thank you. Enjoy. Bye. Well, it's starting to get hot and I need to get this flower bed watered. So thank you for coming along with me today. I hope you enjoyed the garden tour. Please ask questions. Please help me answer my questions. Enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.